captioning brought to you by Eggland's Best Eggs.
There's only one egg that just tastes better, with more vitamins and 25% less saturated fat. Only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Welcome back to Weekend Recharge. It's now 30 past the hour. Thanks for sticking around. I'm Maria LaRosa.
And I'm Chris Warner in for Paul Goodlow today. If you've been outside in the Northeast, the Great Lakes, you know it's cold.
Yes. And just in case you haven't looked out the window,
this is what it looks like.
This is what it looks like. Yeah, we've got new pictures in, and we were kind of joking before about the obligatory, ruler shot. And now it's the patio furniture is the new ruler shot.
I love it though.
I do too.
Some people don't like it. I love it. I think it's awesome. I mean, it's you're hanging out in your PJs. You just open up the door or shoot out the window. And it's great. It lets you know there's a lot of snow out there.
Yeah, it looks great too. I mean, come on. That really kind of paints the picture, right? You're no longer using that patio furniture for sun and fun. Summer is over. But top 3 stories, of course, getting you ready for the rest of this Sunday and looking ahead to the week, recharging you. Yeah, a lot of freeze warnings, frost advisories. Still some cold mornings from the northeast into the southeast. We'll show you where that warm up is headed, though. There is one. And still tracking some snow showers in and around, say, Erie, also Oswego with your lake effect warning. Chris is going to have a look at that. We do have some flash flood warnings current right now, along with the flash flood watches out west. Another problem few days here, potentially. So we'll talk about that. But first, let's check out that October chill, Chris.
Yeah, and take a look. These are some of the areas we're looking at for that chill. Chill's relative. In this case, that chill comes in the form of the 40s for temperature readings right now. However, you still have that sunshine. So it's that time of year when there's a big difference between standing in the shade and standing in the direct sunshine, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's still nice. You can still feel that warmth. But let's take a look at where it is going to be cold again. Freeze warnings, frost advisories, freeze watches from the south to the northeast. Maria? This is awesome. Take a look at this, okay? Kind of step back and have a look at what's going on here. Cold air coming down from Canada, picking up some of this moisture, lake effect snow, okay? Then look what happens here. Sunshine, but look offshore again.
Can I see your
You see where we're going here?
I'm going to raise you Bay effect. The Delaware Bay
right there
has a little streamer flowing because the water temperature's there into the low 60s. So you have that cold rush of air.
So that's the thing. It's cold and it's relatively dry, right? And so you see that. There's no clouds. Then it gets over, hey, warm ocean, moisture added to the air. It's warmer water, so that air rises. You get clouds and showers. So cool. You have kind of like one band here and another one here, and then boom.
All right, I'll let you finish.
Awesome stuff. Thanks, though. That was great.
Yeah.
And here it is. The model now picking up the same thing. Showers offshore, inland as well. It's that moisture, that cold, dry air picking up that moisture or getting that moisture into the atmosphere, and then you end up with some showers. And again, Oswego, watch out for some of that snow, lake effect ongoing there. Cold air is going to become colder in some cases. Purple cold, we'll call that what's going on here. And here it is. Here's a look at the wind streams, we call it, the little lines that are moving. And you can see they're coming from Canada over the lakes and then offshore, creating these beautiful satellite images and some showers that might not be so beautiful. Depends on how much of a fan you are of the wintertime. And if you're not a big fan, temperatures are going to be warming back up. Upside down blue triangles, colder than average. Pointed upwards in the red, warmer than average. Detroit, you're going to be a little bit warmer than average. But again, Maria, many spots in the morning starting off at or below freezing in the northeast again.
I have another silver lining if you're not quite ready for the cold, is that it's such a nice, dry, clear air mass that you have these blue skies, you have these starry nights. It's just gorgeous. And
what can we see in the night sky, by the way, right now?
Oh, gosh. In the morning, right, look east. The next week or so, you've got Venus, which is the brightest in the sky. Then you have Jupiter, the next brightest, then Mars, and if you let it go up a little bit right at the horizon, you have Mercury. 4 planets right there, people. So cool. Speaking of cool, we have that weekend chill still going on in the Midwest where temperatures are below average. And you can see for tomorrow morning, it means bowling up the kids at the bus stop from Detroit to Cincinnati. St. Louis still below average for you, gets you to about 47. Pretty much right on time. You see your average first freeze mid-October, early November in this area, so we're kind of right on time. That high pressure, though, that's been dominating across the west and the central plains, getting a little nudge off to the east. What that does, as Chris was pointing out, those wind streams, yeah, they're a little bit more from the south, so that's some warming wind, and that's going to get you about 10, maybe 20 degrees above average for high temperatures. And for some places, that's going to make a huge difference. We got 80s in Rapid City today. For tomorrow, some 80s in Lincoln, 84 in Dodge City. Bismarck, 9 degrees above average, mid and upper 60s. Love that. And then, hey, Chicago into the 70s. You actually have a few days with highs back up into the 70s. And by Wednesday, St. Louis feeling great into the low 80s. And on top of that, with that high pressure, you have fair skies. So it's going to be great to get out there, too. Chicago, your story here. Just look at that average temperature, 62 degrees this time of year, right about 62. And if I were to draw a line, you see most of the week here will be above average for high temperatures. Not until Thursday we sort of check ourselves here, and the high of 60 by the end of the week. Chris?
And Bree, we do have some new video into the Weather Channel this morning. This is a capsized boat and people on top of it in the Philippines. This was at the height of Typhoon Kopu, and a man behind this video, the man who shot this video, saying he just came across the boat and this is how it was. We don't have any official word yet on how many people were on board the boat, condition of the people, survivors, that sort of thing. It's still too early for all that information, but what we do know is that along with the wind, which has been coming down with the storm, that's been weakening a bit, but it's still going to pack a big punch. As you look at the right-hand side of the screen, the forecast calling in some cases, Maria, more than 40 inches of rain. That can be potentially devastating.
And again, you look at this map, it's through tomorrow. Additional rainfall. There are spots that have already picked up feet of rain. And
the storm lingering through Tuesday potentially.
And it has been quite a season for the Philippines. Taiwan, by the way, in that cone, the forecast cone, to see some impact here, whether it's the wind or the rain later on in the week. So this is definitely a story that we'll keep following.
And it is that unique time of year when it's still hurricane season, but we're also seeing the first flakes of the season.
We've got them in the Great Lakes, interior Northeast, and we're going to see where we're going to pick up a little bit more in the way of accumulation.
Yeah, white snow to go along with the fall colors, peaking in some spots as well.
In and around Vermont, for instance, where this drone video was filmed.
You ever feel like you're spinning?
Like you're stuck in the same place in life? Just going round and round and round? Yeah, man. Been there.
No, actually spinning.
Oh, we can fix that by going to Midas. They have a great selection of tires. Sorry, Doug, I thought you were trying to get deep.
It's time to take a closer look at your tires. Get up to $160 back by mail on a set of 4 Goodyear, Cooper, and other select brands. Tires, brakes, oil, everything.
What's this? A box. It takes worn out things and makes them better.
It's our biggest breakthrough yet. We're taking worn-out batteries and making them into something strong. Energizer Eco Advanced, world's first long-lasting battery made with 4% recycled batteries.
Do you really think that's a good idea?
If everyone jumped off a cliff, would you do it too? You'll lose interest. It's just a phase.
It hurts me more than it hurts you.
Where are your manners? Were you raised by wolves?
You're gonna give me a heart attack.
When you have kids, you'll understand.
This is the life of a rebel. Sorry, Mom.
Don't miss Ace's biggest ever buy 2, get 1 free LED sale this Friday through Sunday. Buy any 2 select LED bulbs and get 1 free. Mix and match from our best-selling, longest-lasting LED bulbs and get over 80% in energy savings.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Hey, I'm here on the red carpet where our next arrival is, whoa, toenail fungus.
Fight it with Jublia. Jublia is a prescription medicine used to treat toenail fungus. Use Jublia as instructed by your doctor.
Are you getting this?
Most common side effects include ingrown toenail, application site redness, itching, swelling, burning, or stinging, blisters, and pain.
Oh, epic moves, Big J.
Fight it.
Getting ready for your close-up? Ask your doctor if Jublia is right for you.
Visit our website for savings on larger size.
Nothing artificial, just real roasted turkey, carved thick. That's the right way to make a good turkey sandwich. The right way to eat it is however you eat it. Panera, food as it should be.
Want bladder leak underwear that moves like you do? Try Always Discreet underwear and wiggle, giggle, swerve, and curve with soft dual leak guard barriers and a discreet fit that hugs your curves, so bladder leaks can feel like no big deal. Get your free pair and valuable coupons at alwaysdiscreet.com.
The sleeper pick, the guy only you believe in. In 1 week fantasy football on DraftKings, he can be the difference. So trust your gut. Trust your numbers. Trust your Uncle Vito if you want. But know this, that sleeper is out there. The question is, who's going to play him? This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time.
Play this Sunday for your shot to become a fantasy football millionaire. Play free with promo code HOTDOG.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, overcast, slight chance of a rain shower. High 83. Winds northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, rain showers along with windy conditions. Low 73. Chance of rain 60%. Monday, cloudy and windy. Slight chance of a rain shower. High 80. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Minutes before the top of the hour. Maybe this is the scene out your window. It certainly is for Stowe, Vermont. The mountain resort isn't scheduled to open until late next month, but the fall leaves, the ski trails are covered in white. The resort is on the east side of Mount Mansfield, which got its first accumulating snow of the season yesterday. Typically sees its first snowfall around November 1st. Killington, Vermont, by the way, they've got trails open. The ski lifts are running this morning.
Killing it in Killington.
Killing it in Killington.
Well, we are seeing some more snow right now, Maria. In fact, if we can take a look at the radar, we'll show you where that snow is coming down. It's the blue, which is the snow.
Yeah, and can you guess where the winds are flowing, how the winds are going? It's that perfect streamlined setup, right? You can tell exactly those winds are out of the northwest, coming right over those warm, toasty Great Lakes, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, open for business right now.
And you can see it, there's Erie and there's Buffalo, and right in between, driving can be a little difficult. And also, Maria, you pointed this out.
I have to give credit to Philly Weather on Twitter, who pointed this out on the radar. And yeah, the Delaware Bay effect. Delaware Bay water temps right now into the lower 60s in spots. So there too, just like the Great Lakes, you get the cold air coming over it and creates this little stream.
It's kind of like Mother Nature's snow machine, isn't it?
It is, exactly. In this case, though, it's the rain sprinkles.
All right, so this is a look at what we can expect throughout the rest of the day. So similar to what's going on right now, you can expect that throughout most of the day today, as far as when we typically see these cold temperatures take effect and you get that first freeze the farther north, the earlier in the season. Parts of New England and Maine, you're looking at mid-September, but down and around Delaware, you're looking at more around early November.
You know, there are a lot of people looking forward to the snow at the Sunday River Ski Resort, by the way, up in Newry, Maine. They've got the snow guns fired up to make sure it's ready to go.
That's right. Will Bastian, the snowmaking manager for the resort, joins us now. And Will, thanks for joining us. And we talk about a little bit what it's like to be able to control the snow and how you do that.
It's a pretty amazing feeling, honestly. Everybody's super stoked to get back at it and get ready for the winter here.
All right, there's some challenges though to you know, making snow. What are the perfect conditions, and do you have them to get the snow guns really going?
We do, actually. Last night was a crystal clear night, beautiful stars. It was about 20 degrees, just about ideal. We had a great night of snowmaking.
I mean, ski runs are big. If someone, doesn't go skiing, they don't understand. This is a huge area to cover. We talk about the task at hand in trying to put snow on the ski runs.
Indeed, it's a huge place we have to cover here. We have about 80 miles of pipeline on the mountain that we have to work with. Lots of acreage to cover. We'll be going nonstop 24/7 right through January to get this place going. Get as much as we can before Christmas, and we're ready to rock and roll.
And when you get this little early taste and you have those ideal conditions for snowmaking, I'm guessing that it's all about taking advantage of it and running those snow guns as much as possible, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. Anytime we have temps, we'll be running the guns, making some snow, and creating the best skiing we can.
So when it comes to creating the best skiing you can, even when Mother Nature starts helping out with additional snowfall in the mountains, will you still supplement the Mother Nature snow with your own snow?
Absolutely, yeah. We always love it when Mother Nature helps out, but we always keep the guns running as long as we can. We want to keep the best skiing we can at all times. That's part of our passion here. The guys here make it, they absolutely love it.
And Will, I've got to say, we're seeing beautiful color behind you still, so that's another reason to head up there. But schedule-wise, what are you guys looking at as far as opening date? Any inside info that we can give our viewers?
Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., we will be open.
For skiing?
Yes, we are trying to be open for 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, ready to rock and roll.
Now, just looking behind you, we're guessing that it's going to be limited operations?
Yeah, we will have operations on T2, at least, if not another trail, Upper Sunday Punch down to the mid-station. And if we can get top-to-bottom skiing, we will be going for that.
I love it. I love it. All right, Will Bastian, the snowmaking manager for the resort there. Thank you so much. Sunday River, you heard it here first. Ready to go, 9 a.m. tomorrow. Will is nice and chill about it. I'm like freaking out. That'd be amazing if I was a skier. And they've got one open, ready to go tomorrow.
And it's so neat when you see at the beginning of the season, they'll get like 1 or 2 runs. So it's like, we're open. We got this. And then on the other end, after spring, some areas will stay into summer with that one little, there'll be like a little path that'll go right to the left. Exactly,
exactly. They are committed. They are committed to their fan base right there. And you got a little hint of the color still going on in New England with Will there in Maine. How about Vermont? Away like you've never seen before via drone. Beautiful.
Will it be the front left or the passenger side rear? Which tire will be the free one? Buy 3 tires at Pep Boys and get the 4th free instantly. Which one is totally up to you? You're in the power seat.
It's more than the cloud. It's multi-layered security and flexibility. With CenturyLink, you get advanced technology solutions, including cloud and hosting services, all from a trusted IT partner. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
Start the interview with a firm handshake. I know! Don't do that! Try Head & Shoulders Instant Relief. It cools on contact and also keeps you 100% flake-free. Try Head & Shoulders Instant Relief for cooling relief in a snap.
Let me talk to you about retirement. A 401k is the most sound way to go. Let's talk asset allocation. Sure.
You seem knowledgeable, professional.
Would you trust me as your financial advisor?
I would.
I would indeed. Well, let's be clear here. I'm actually a DJ.
No way.
I have no financial experience at all. That really is you.
If they're not a CFP pro, you just don't know. Find a certified financial planner professional who's thoroughly vetted at letsmakeaplan.org. CFP, work with the highest standard.
The holidays bring many challenges to the feet. By day, they must stay warm, but by night, beautiful, smoother, and ready to impress the other party animals. Dr. Scholl's DreamWalk Express Petty.
Don't miss Ace's biggest ever buy 2 get 1 free LED sale this Friday through Sunday. Buy any 2 select LED bulbs and get 1 free. Mix and match from our best-selling, longest-lasting LED bulbs and get over 80% in energy savings.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Tomorrow on AMHQ, we're already seeing the first signs of winter with these colder than normal temperatures dropping from the northeast all the way into the deep south. But where's the warm weather bound?
Great time for a shiny floor wax, no? Not if you just put the finishing touches on your latest masterpiece. Timing's important. Comcast Business knows that. That's why you can schedule an installation at a time that works for you, even late at night or on the weekend if that's what you need, because you have enough to worry about. I did not see that coming.
Don't deal with disruptions. Get better internet installed on your schedule. Comcast Business, built for business.
You know me as Nota Begay III, golf analyst for NBC Sports and Golf Channels and founder of the MB3 Foundation. But my favorite title is Champion for Kids' Health. I'm living my dream, and I want to make that possible for all children. We must give kids what they need to become teachers, artists, doctors, even golfers. But dreams can get lost if our kids aren't healthy. And right now in our country, 1 in 3 kids are obese. We must do better. Join me. Help all kids live healthy now so they can build healthy futures.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, overcast, slight chance of a rain shower. High 83. Winds northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, rain showers along with windy conditions. Low 73. Chance of rain 60%. Monday, cloudy and windy. Slight chance of a rain shower. High 80. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Eleven minutes for the top of the hour. Typhoon Kopu came ashore on the island of Luzon earlier today, Philippines time. Winds howling at one point 150 miles per hour before landfall. And you can see these workers wading into those raging river waters to pull debris away from a bridge to keep floodwater from overtopping it. The video also shows the vast areas of land underwater right now with water up to the rooftops on some of the homes. The Associated Press is reporting right now at least 2 people have died, 16,000 displaced. Army troops and police are rescuing trapped residents in these flooded villages. Forecasters predict Kopu is moving so slowly it could dump perhaps as much as 4 feet of rain in places in the Philippines, and that's what we're calling for as well. Chris, Mark?
Yeah, Mark's here in the lab keeping a close eye all morning long on what's going on in the tropics, both in the Pacific, but also in the Atlantic, a little bit closer to home. It is still hurricane season.
Yeah, we can't put down our guard just because we have some lake effect snow showers ongoing at this point. We still can have tropics this time of year. This is all the storm origins from mid-October, and we start to move away from the main development zone of the tropics and come closer to home. The Southern Gulf, the Caribbean, off the east coast of the U.S.
This is not a predictor. This just tells us that it can happen. It has happened in the past.
Right, and what it does tell us is that, you know, we have this kind of flare-up zone. All this zone, most of the storms are within there. And so when you do get storms to fire up any thunderstorm activity in that zone, it piques your interest a little bit because you know it's happened.
It's happened in the past, yes, so exactly. And there is something right here that is worth watching.
Absolutely. In fact, the National Hurricane Center giving this zone a 20% chance of development over the next couple of days as it moves off the Yucatan and into the Southern Gulf, exactly where we were saying so many of those previous storms in history have formed. So the question is, how do the models handle all this? And we start things off with the European model, one of the many models that we use, the global models that, you know, we get our day-to-day weather. And by Friday, the European says maybe a weak low off the coast of Mexico. Part 2 is, what does the American model do? Right. We can run that forward, and the American model pretty similar.
Yeah.
And that tells us a lot, that the models are saying something will form here.
This many days away, too.
It's a ways out, and that brings us to next weekend, where the European is still developing a storm, but look what happens to the GFS. A powerhouse storm moves in this direction according to this one model run. One model. There's a lot of questions. What we do know from this is that there will be a lot of rain headed towards the coast. The other side of the coin is that the tropical models are not impressed at all. This is like throwing spaghetti out and just no clue.
Still have days to watch this, and it is certainly worth watching, especially because of all that rain.
Yeah, the other thing, we're really protected here because of the shear across the Gulf Coast.
All right, Mark, thank you.
Hello. Welcome.
That's an
big.
It's hard to prepare for something when you're not ready for it, huh?
Absolutely.
Want to meet a car that can detect things before you can?
Yeah.
Meet the Chevy Equinox with available forward collision alert. It can help warn you when you're approaching another vehicle too fast so you can take action.
I need that.
Ford Escape doesn't have that.
Oh, come on, Ford. Love this vehicle. Very smart car. This is really nice.
My husband said, "You're beautiful and I love you, but I'm worried we're going to lose you." That was my moment.
With a personal consultant and delicious food, Jenny Craig makes losing weight simple. Visit jennycraig.com or get your starter kit today at Walmart.
Think your heartburn pill works fast? Take the Zantac It Challenge. Zantac works in as little as 30 minutes. Nexium can take 24 hours. When heartburn strikes, take Zantac for faster relief than Nexium or your money back. Take the Zantac It Challenge.
And just like that, it's a whole new world outside. And jackets come out of hibernation. And we can feel the air. We can see it too. And we gear up and layer up and zip up. And we make the most of the new season. Because when the world is at its coldest, we're at our warmest. LLB. Guaranteed season after season.
These wings are pretty great. Huh?
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh, it's a wing ring.
What's a wing ring?
I ask it what kind of wings I should have, and it tells me. Today it said honey barbecue.
I want to ask it a question.
Oh, you know what? I got like 2% battery on this thing.
Well, come on, let me just...
Yeah, I wish I could.
You have battery in a ring?
Yeah, it's like 8 gigs.
That's two different things. One is memory and one's battery.
Cool. All I know is like, no, you can't use it.
Good luck choosing 100% all-white meat boneless chicken wings in 6 delicious flavors. Or buy one, get one free every Monday night. This is how you Sonic.
When you're living with diabetes, steady is exciting. Only Glucerna has Carb Steady, clinically proven to help minimize blood sugar spikes, so you stay steady ahead.
Available now on the Weather Channel on demand. For millions of years, weather has shaped our world. But weather also created...
What is that?
Something else.
This weather adds to an incredible biodiversity. Do not move.
Find new episodes of Natural Born Monsters in your on-demand menu before they air Mondays at 10 on the Weather Channel.
We've got some baseball playoffs happening, and it's continuing tonight. The Mets beat the Cubs in Game 1 of the National League Championship Series. So Game 2 is tonight at 7:30 Eastern Time. So let's take a look at the conditions in Queens, New York, with the Mets taking on the Cubbies. Mid-40s, but under fair skies. The wind's a little brisk there early on. Right now, expecting north-northwest about 10 to 15 miles per hour before easing back a little bit later on in the game. By the way, the Mets are leading 1-0 in the series. So how about the NFL game day forecast? Chris has that covered.
Yeah, we'll start off with the Pacific Northwest and Seattle and the Carolina Panthers. Here's Seattle. This is the radar satellite combination showing where the rain is right now. So waking up in the Puget Sound area, dealing with some gray skies and some clouds. The bigger picture showing some showers around parts of southwest Washington, the northern Willamette Valley, and some of these showers potentially creeping into the game today. And the game going into the afternoon and evening hours, we're going to have that chance for some showers. Again, the game is at 4:05 Eastern. That would be 1:05 local time in Seattle. Here's a look at Green Bay, where things are looking good. Don't see much as far as clouds and rain. What we do see is happening in Michigan right now. So it's going to be a beautiful day for tailgating, and we're going to see temperatures running into the 50s. One of the milder spots, if you can believe that, one of the milder spots for football today will be in Green Bay. And in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, some showers in the neighborhood with some clouds. That's what we're seeing right now. Going forward with Arizona in town, it will be a possibility to see some showers for you as well. So this is a look at where we're going to see some showers. We are seeing showers right now around Buffalo and some snow as well. And through the day today, it's going to be cool with the Bengals in town, upper 30s and lower 40s, the undefeated Cincinnati Bengals, by the way. And looking at Cleveland, just down the road there from Buffalo, some showers. And dry, though, at game time. Kickoff at 1 o'clock, one of the earlier games here, and 1 o'clock Eastern time, of course. And then we're looking at temperatures into the 40s in Cleveland, East Rutherford, New Jersey. It is quiet right now, and it should stay quiet throughout the day with Washington in town, mid to upper 40s. New York Jets 3-1, Redskins 2-3. So most of the games, Maria, are going to be quiet, rather uneventful as far as the weather goes. But one of the warmer spots, as far as the games we just looked at again, Green Bay.
Isn't that amazing? My cousin just let me know it's snowing in Connecticut. They've got some snowflakes in Connecticut, so it's that kind of thing. But hope you have a great Sunday. Chris, as always, a pleasure. Weather Geeks is next, so stay tuned.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, overcast, slight chance of a rain shower. High 83. Winds northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, rain showers along with windy conditions. Low 73. Chance of rain 60%. Monday, cloudy and windy. Slight chance of a rain shower. High 80. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome to Weather Geeks. I'm Dr. Marshall Shepard from the University of Georgia, and wow, we have two experts on animals here today. I've got Dr. Stephanie Bercini. She's the curator of mammals at Zoo Atlanta, and we also had Dr. David Steen, assistant research professor at Auburn University, and Slate Magazine said he's the best biologist on Twitter to follow, so go follow him. What's your Twitter address, by the way?
@AlongsideWild.
@AlongsideWild, and thank you both for joining us. Now I want to just jump right in here because this is a show about weather and climate. You really have an expertise in mammals, you in reptiles and amphibians. Sort of, are mammals, do they give us any clues, or do they adapt to weather and climate in any special ways, particularly climate?
Oh, they give us tons of clues, especially looking at migratory patterns.
Yes.
We're seeing especially African elephants. What used to be a short migration pattern is now longer trying to find water. They're having trouble finding the resources that they need.
Right, right.
And we're seeing it with tons of other, you can't Google climate change and not see a picture of a starving polar bear.
And what about just even sort of mammals in just terms of their sensitivities to weather in general?
They're all adapted to live in the environments that they are, and as those environments are changing, they don't have the opportunity to adapt fast enough.
Right, right. What about reptiles and amphibians? Anything we need to know there?
Yeah, they can be particularly sensitive to climate changes because they're ectothermic, formerly known as cold-blooded.
Weather geeks, so we got our first geeky term of the day. That's fine. We love those terms.
Good. So if there's a change in the weather, they're going to be detecting it and responding to it pretty early on.
Yeah. Any particular sort of in your research or just in your work that concerns you in terms of amphibians and reptiles and weather and climate in general?
Yeah, they do concern me because they're not able to move around as much as the birds do, for example. They can't just fly to a new area. So if the conditions become unsuitable where they are, they're out of luck.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit. I think something that many of our Weather Geeks viewers and many of our kids that may be watching know about is sort of animal hibernation patterns and whatnot. Are there any special cues, particularly environmental cues, related to, say, how a mammal or an animal triggers hibernation patterns?
There's biological cues and there's weather cues. So as things are getting colder, a little bit more humid, they start feeling what's going on in their body. Things are changing, especially a lot of northern bears and polar bears that hibernate to give birth.
Right.
So again, as we're having shorter winters, that's a shorter birthing period for these bears.
Right, right.
And we're forcing cubs to grow up far too fast.
Oh wow! So that certainly makes sense. So we talk about, we learned this in biology class along the way. We've got warm-blooded and cold-blooded animals. You talked a little bit about this. What about the cues? Well, tell us in general. Do frogs and salamanders, do they hibernate? I mean, I think of mammals hibernating, but what about amphibians and reptiles?
They sure do, because they're not going to be able to find the food that they need in the winter, so they shut down as well. And they respond to the same cues that the mammals and the birds do. It could be the length of the day, it could be the temperature conditions on any given day.
So some of these cues, though, I mean, we don't, not necessarily just talking about man-made climate change. Some of these cues are just seasonal or natural changes. Is that right? Or natural cues as we change. I mean, as we're taping this, we're near the autumnal equinox, for example, and we're seeing sort of shifts in seasons. That cues these animals. Is that correct?
And the moisture, again, going back to African species, anything that's going to migrate between wet and dry seasons. Unfortunately, those seasons also correspond with birthing.
Right.
So you're going to need resources. Any mammal, humans or mammals, need food and water.
Yeah.
And so they're always going to search for those items.
Exactly. Now, one of the things that I know you're particularly well known for out there on Twitter, David, is sort of your mission to save snakes. Talk to us a little bit about that. And I also want to hear about some of the interesting things that have been going on with snakes in Australia and being found in toilets because of perhaps drought, and floods in Houston and snakes washing up. But tell us a little bit about your mission with snakes.
Well, is there a group of animals that have a worse reputation than snakes?
Oh, I know I don't like them. I'm just going to be honest.
Well, you're not alone.
Yeah.
Lots of people do not like them. I think they have a bad reputation.
Yeah.
They're just animals like any
Sure.
other. They're not out to get you. But people are not shy about killing them, hating on them, and I think there's a real opportunity to talk to these people, try and get them to appreciate not just snakes, but the wildlife in their backyards.
Right. Now, and again, just recently I saw a story about drought in Australia and perhaps the notion that these snakes are being driven inside to find drinking water because it's so dry. Any truth to that from a physiological or scientific standpoint?
Well, first off, I don't think it's anything anybody needs to worry about. But snakes and frogs and other creatures, they will sometimes seek out water sources during drought. As a field biologist, I've shared a lot of stories with other people about using some outdoor outhouse and then finding lots of local wildlife in there. At one point, I saw a snake coming out of a shower drain to go after a frog.
Oh, wow. Now, I want to come back to you with a question about pythons and Everglades, but before we do that, any strange behavior that larger mammals or smaller mammals have in response to strange patterns in weather, drought, floods? Anything that you're aware of? Or?
More funny things is we see a lot of giraffes. Giraffes hate rain. They will put their head down and will not move. Actually, same with ostrich.
Is that right?
So if you ever happen to be out at Zooland on a little bit of a misty day, look for these boys. Just do not move.
Wow. So they could be nice little indicators of rainfall. Now, speaking of that, and that's funny and strange behavior, Hurricane Andrew. Many people, and look, I've seen these shows about folks going out there and removing, pythons in South Florida. We were talking before the show. Any truth to this notion that Hurricane Andrew caused a sort of uptick in pythons, non-native pythons we're seeing in the Everglades?
The short answer is we don't know exactly how this invasive population took place and started. But the evidence suggests it probably started a little earlier than Andrew. This is some research out of the University of Arkansas, J.D. Wilson and others.
Sure.
They can look at how the population has been changing and look at that growth rate and go back in time and see when it probably started.
What about invasive species in terms of mammal populations here in the U.S. or perhaps abroad? Any particular invasive species that comes to mind for you that's particularly problematic?
You'll see rodents. Any sort of mice or rat problem, again, they're looking for food and water, and they're going to be searching out where they can find it.
Yeah.
If it's a drought conditions, I know I've talked to some colleagues out in California that are seeing all of their rodent problems just skyrocket.
So rodent problems are kind of positively correlated. You see more rodents in dry conditions, drought conditions. Yep. Is that right?
Doing what they need to do. They're just being rodents.
Okay, well, we're going to talk more about animals, and this is a really interesting show. But coming up next on Weather Geek, someone on this set, and it's not me, has given CPR to a turtle. And we have a piece of animal trivia for you. Only one mammal can fly. Do you know which one? But next, our Geek of the Week.
This week's Geek of the Week is Ron McGill, Zoo Goodwill Ambassador and Communications Director for Zoo Miami. Ron's most memorable weather event was Hurricane Andrew back in 1992. He huddled the zoo's flamingos into a public restroom, likely saving their lives. He's handled all kinds of animals, but says one of the most dangerous and unpredictable ones he'd ever worked with was a wolverine, aptly named Tornado. How about that? Congratulations to Ron McGill, our Geek of the Week.
The new 2016 Ram Limited.
You don't have to be a king to be treated like one.
Hello?
Hello, Sarah?
Yes.
It's Dr. Marino's office. We got the results from your biopsy. You need to come in and talk to us. Do you have someone who could come in with you?
Help the American Cancer Society to save lives and give patients a hand to hold. Donate today.
Hi, I'm Paula with the American Cancer Society. We'll do this together.
Very intense right now.
Oh my God.
Let's black down. This is so cool.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, overcast, slight chance of a rain shower. High 83. Winds northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, rain showers along with windy conditions. Low 73. Chance of rain 60%. Monday, cloudy and windy. Slight chance of a rain shower. High 80. Here's our 7-day outlook.
We're geeking out on what's happening in weather, how it happens, and why it's so freaking cool.
Weather Underground, weeknights at 6 on the Weather Channel.
Coughing, sniffling, and wishing you could stay in bed all day. When your cold is this bad, you need new Theraflu Express Max. Theraflu Express Max combines maximum strength medicines available without a prescription to fight your worst cold and flu symptoms, so you can feel better fast and get back to the job at hand. New Theraflu Express Max, the power to feel better.
You're my buddy, my pal, my friend. It will be that way until the end. And wherever you go, I want you.
Making the most out of every mile. That's why I got a Subaru Impreza.
Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
I need new carpet.
Okay.
I have 2 dogs and a husband.
House trained?
My husband?
No, the dogs.
Sometimes.
I'd suggest Stainmaster Pet Protect carpet.
Why?
Incredibly durable and stain resistant. That's why they call it Master.
I got it.
Purchase Stainmaster Carpet and Pad by 11/2 and get basic install by Thanksgiving for free.
We are talking animals and weather and climate today on Weather Geeks. And before the break, we asked what mammal can fly.
That would be the bat.
And I'm sure Stephanie from Zoo Atlanta, I'm certain that she knew the answer to that. And I bet many of our kids and Weather Geeks viewers knew that as well. Now let's continue the conversation because you have a passion for primates, is that right? And we had one of the world's top primate experts, Dr. Jane Goodall, on the show. Tell us a little bit about your travels and your sort of work in primate areas.
I've been incredibly fortunate to travel to Sumatra and Borneo. I did a little bit of work in the northern Congo at the Gulago Triangle 8 project, which National Geographic called the Forgotten Place. And it's just an absolutely beautiful area. So until you've wandered and seen wild mountain gorillas and western lowland gorillas, do you really find that passion for conservation?
Now, what on those trips, and in particular those sort of areas that you just talked about, anything jump out at you about the weather or climate of those regions? Certainly these are are they rainforest regions?
Most of them are.
Yeah.
I think to relate to the most people, the more humid it is, the frizzier the hair.
Yeah, absolutely. We make, by the way, kids, you can make a hair hygrometer. Just take a piece of hair. It's actually very sensitive to humidity. Yeah, bad hair days related to humidity.
It is, and you can look at an orangutan in the rainforest of Sumatra as just that beautiful frizzy red hair. I happened to be in a dry, arid place last week.
So orangutans have bad hair days.
They do.
Yeah, the
they
Weather
do.
Geek stuff first there.
They own that.
Okay. Well, David, look, we teased the intro here. Apparently there's some video, and I think we're going to maybe show some of this perhaps, or if not, it's out there on YouTube. you delivered CPR to a turtle? Yeah, I think we are showing it right now, actually. Yeah.
Am I ever going to live this down?
Well, no, I think it's a noble call. We're seeing it right now. So tell us how this happened.
Well, I'm affiliated with the Alabama Natural Heritage Program, and one of our jobs is to monitor and survey rare species in the state. So Jim Godwin and I, he's a zoologist at the program, we were trapping red-bellied turtles. It's an Alabama red-bellied turtle.
Yeah, so there you see the pictures of him doing this, yeah.
Unfortunate consequences, sometimes water levels shift and a turtle may drown. I've heard of other people trying to revive turtles before, so I figured I'd give it a shot, and I said, let's roll.
And so what's the fate of that little turtle?
It made it.
Yeah.
It made it. It swam away. The chest compressions were a little difficult because it has the shell on the bottom, so I just tried to push it from the bottom, and after a while it started breathing on its own.
Now something I mentioned, but I didn't really get to ask you about it in the first segment, but last year we saw very severe flooding in places like Austin, Texas, other parts of Texas, and I know we were having a conversation on Twitter about this a little bit. Does that lead to sort of more of a threat perhaps from snakes in these flood conditions?
Well, I think people might be seeing the snakes more often because they're being flooded out of the streams, they're being flooded out of their tunnels, and they might be seeking refuge on people's doorsteps. I had a lot of people sending me pictures of snakes that they found in their yard.
Yeah. Now, we heard about the CPR and turtle story. What's your most unusual story with an animal?
I did unfortunately have the privilege to brush an orangutan once.
Wow.
Was working with an orangutan at St. Louis that had air saculitis, so we kind of gave him a bath and tidied him up before he met his new lady.
Oh, okay. So you were helping him out, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're gonna, we after we get back, I don't even know where to leave that. But after we get back, we're gonna bust some animal myths as it relates to weather, including the truth behind this picture that you may have seen on the internet this summer. And also, male deer are called bucks, female deers are called does. But there's another animal that shares that same male-female distinction. Do you know which one? The answer next on Weather Geeks.
We've worked pretty hard to become the world's largest independent refiner and to be America's third largest producer of renewable fuels. But we've also worked hard to be named one of Fortune's most admired companies by giving over 125,000 volunteer hours a year, donating over 1 million pounds of food to local food banks, and building homes for Habitat for Humanity. To appreciate a company's true value, you have to understand the heart of its people.
Why do we insist on 100% Alaskan whitefish? Why do we always hand dip in our famous batter, cook it to golden perfection, and serve it with fries for just $1.99? Because at Long John Silver's, we think you deserve more for $1.99.
After we're all inside for a while, it gets pretty stuffy.
When Dad opens up the window, what's the first thing he does?
The Tobin stamps.
But when we open up the windows, you can see the dust floating around. There's dog here.
Pollen.
More work.
Wow.
What's this? Swiffer Sweeper.
Swiffer Dusters. Removes up to 70% of dust and allergens. Stays on there like glue.
You can't do that with the other broom. Wow, I love it.
The Tobin stamps.
That's totally what it is.
30, 29, 28. Tick, tock. 25 years old, and you're still laying in the mud. 15 feet in the air. That's where you feel most alive. 10 meter maids waiting to wallpaper your truck. Better get out of town. 5, 4, 3. The all-new Tacoma. Toyota. Let's go places.
What's the word on Weather Underground?
Drum roll.
The Weather Geeks have weighed in and... boom. They geekin' love it.
Weather Underground, my friend. Hopefully you learned something with that.
I'm a weather geek for life.
Join in on the fun. Weather Underground, Geek Nights at 6.
Depression is a serious medical condition. I feel like I have to wind myself up to deal with the sadness, the loss of interest, the lack of energy.
Ask your doctor about Pristique, a prescription medicine proven to treat depression. Pristique is thought to work by affecting the levels of two chemicals in the brain, serotonin and norepinephrine. Tell your doctor right away if your depression worsens or you have unusual changes in mood, behavior, or thoughts of suicide. Antidepressants can increase suicidal thoughts and behaviors in children, teens, and young adults. Pristiq is not approved for children under 18. Do not take Pristiq with MAOIs. Taking Pristiq with NSAID pain relievers, aspirin, or blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all your medications, including those for migraine, to avoid a potentially life-threatening condition. Pristiq may cause or worsen high blood pressure or cause visual and other eye problems. Tell your doctor if you have heart disease or before you reduce or stop taking Pristiq. Side effects may include nausea, dizziness, and sweating.
For me, Pristiq is a key in helping me treat my depression.
Weekdays on AMHQ. I want to make sure everybody can get an idea of what's happening here. Let's talk about that. Let's lift the base of this. You're about to see something you have never seen on television before.
Available now on the Weather Channel on demand. For millions of years, weather has shaped our world. But weather also created.
What is that?
Something else.
This weather adds to an incredible biodiversity. Do not move.
Find new episodes of Natural Born Monsters in your on-demand menu before they air Mondays at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under cloudy skies. Today, overcast with rain showers at times. High 83. Chance of rain 60%. Tonight, rain showers along with windy conditions. Low 73. Chance of rain 60%. Monday, cloudy and windy. Slight chance of a rain shower. High 80. Here's our 7-day outlook.
So we ask you which of those animals actually has the same sort of male-female distinction as a deer, and the answer is rabbits. Male rabbits are called bucks and females are called does. I didn't know that, so I learned something on Weather Geeks this week myself. Now we are going to geek out now on weather-tolerant animals, and we've actually asked our two guests to come up with a weather-tolerant animal. So David, what are you going to talk about?
Well, I picked the spadefoot toad.
Yeah.
This toad has a little structure on its foot. It's for digging. That's how they got their name.
Sure.
And what they do during dry periods is they'll dig a tunnel and just wait it out. And when it starts raining, they're going to pick up on those cues. They're going to find a wetland, breed explosively, that's what they call them, and then disappear back into the woods.
Very interesting. Nice. And what are you going to bring us today?
There's so many mammals that have great adaptations for weather. I mean, from elephants having blood vessels in their ears to help cool them down, but I'm going to go with the kangaroo.
Oh, the kangaroo.
They can go from about 15 degrees of cold to into the hundreds.
Really?
So they just really seem to not be phased at all from heat or cold.
Yeah. Anything about their what about their circulatory system, or
it's circulation, it's ear structure,
okay.
It's the way that they're able to cool, and actually they're able to regulate the temperature within their pouch.
Okay, interesting. So again, we're bringing some very interesting knowledge here, but now this is one of the segments we've brought back here recently on Weather Geeks, the Hail No segment, and that's HAIL. We try to debunk some myths in weather and climate. So David, there's a picture getting around the internet, a copperhead snake lurking in a fish's mouth, waiting to be bitten to bite the fisherman. Is that real?
I think a lot of people said, oh, hell no, when they saw this picture. The thing is
here we're seeing that right now, by the way.
Fish do eat snakes.
Sure.
But it's a little unusual for them to be waiting in the fish's mouth for the photo shot. So there was some concern about this being a copperhead. It's actually a harmless snake.
Now this is actually some video I think one of our producers found of actually a real case of a little girl that actually did catch a fish. Yeah, so that does happen. You said it is common though.
It does happen. Usually the fish will swallow the snake, but the snake doesn't want to get swallowed, it won't cooperate.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't want to be swallowed. So, yeah, let's talk about cows and what role they play in greenhouse gases.
Always have to blame things on cows, don't you?
Well, that's what I'm here for. But seriously, they are contributors of carbon methane. Is that right?
They are through both ends.
Yeah.
But the more we see in cow populations, the higher we see in greenhouse emissions.
All right.
I think you had a great example about New Zealand. I had a book in that because it was interesting of looking at New Zealand and the amount of greenhouse gas emissions and methane just correlating to the increase in cow population.
Sure, absolutely. And I mean, I've written some discussions on how just agricultural and livestock activities actually contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. So it's certainly a natural and an anthropogenic problem. Groundhogs. I've written on groundhogs. Can they predict the weather?
They cannot.
No, seriously, and we know where I was going with that, but someone was reading about the notion that they eat a certain amount of food, 6 months worth of food, and actually know exactly when to come out, and it's cued to the weather. But you're saying that's a myth.
I do not fall for it.
Okay.
I've yet to see definitive evidence that really proves that the groundhog can produce any sort of reliability for predicting weather.
And we certainly have fun. Shout out to the folks up there in Pennsylvania with the groundhog. We have fun with it, but some people, we want to make sure they keep it in perspective as well. Final sort of myth-busting activity here. I used to hear this as a kid. Do frogs cause warts?
Well, I'm a herpetologist. I've caught hundreds of frogs and toads, and I'm here to show you I do not have any warts. It's a myth.
So as we kind of think, sort of wrap it up here, what are your thoughts on weather and climate in general? Any big concerns as we leave out of here?
Yeah, I am concerned because a lot of these small reptiles and amphibians, they have really specific habitat requirements. And if climate change affects those areas where they can be found, they don't have anywhere to go.
And quickly, 10 seconds.
That's the same. Mammals are the umbrella species. The more mammals we save, the more reptiles and birds we save.
That's where we have to leave it. I really enjoyed the show, and thank you for joining us on Weather Geeks. You can always find us on Twitter at WXGeeksTWC.
Get ready to show your roots with Root Touch-Up from Nice and Easy. Seamlessly blends with leading shades, even salon shades, in just 10 minutes. For natural-looking color, as real as you are. Show the world your roots with Root Touch-Up.
Let me talk to you about retirement. The 401k is the most sound way to go. Let's talk asset allocation. Sure.
You seem knowledgeable, professional.
Would you trust me as your financial advisor?
I would.
I would indeed. Well, let's be clear here. I'm actually a DJ.
No way.
I have no financial experience at all.
That really is you. If they're not a CFP pro, you just don't know. Find a certified financial planner professional who's thoroughly vetted at letsmakeaplan.org. CFP. Work with the highest standard.
I need new carpet.
Okay.
I have 2 dogs and a husband.
House trained?
My husband?
No, the dogs.
Sometimes.
I'd suggest Stainmaster Pet Protect carpet.
Why?
Incredibly durable and stain resistant. That's why they call it Master.
I got it.
Purchase Stainmaster Carpet and Pad by 11/2 and get basic install by Thanksgiving for free.
I've suffered for 18 years with dry, cracked hands.
In the winter in Chicago, it's dry, it's cold, makes my hands even worse.
O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for dry, cracked hands.
My hands feel better.
I finally found relief.
Learn more at O'Keefe'sCompany.com.
Have you tried O'Keefe's?
The all-new Fiat 500X crossover. It has 70 standard and available safety features, available all-wheel drive, and a few dangerous curves.
Tuck here, you tuck there. If you're a toe tucker because of toenail fungus, ask your doctor now about prescription Keratin. Use daily. Keratin drops may kill the fungus at the site of infection and get to the root of your toe tucking. Keratin may cause irritation at the treated site. Most common side effects include skin peeling, ingrown toenail, redness, itching, and swelling. Tell your doctor if you have any side effect that bothers you or does not go away. Stop toe tucking and get the drop on toenail fungus. Ask your doctor today about Keratin.
When it's your job to protect the world's greatest nation, it's your responsibility to solve the world's greatest challenges. This is why we search for the best and brightest, why we train for every eventuality, on land and water, in the air, space, and even cyberspace. We operate in a complex world with one simple mission: win.
When the weather starts turning cooler and the air is nice and crisp, I know that fall has finally arrived. and with it, all the flavors of the season. Fall is all about bringing people together around delicious food. And each recipe brings as much enjoyment as the company.
Low prices on everything you need to make every meal more memorable. Walmart.
Available now on the Weather Channel on demand. For millions of years, weather has shaped our world. But weather also created.
What is that?
Something else.
This weather adds to an incredible biodiversity. Do not move.
Find new episodes of Natural Born Monsters in your on-demand menu before they air Mondays at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under cloudy skies. Today, overcast with rain showers at times. High 83. Chance of rain 60%. Tonight, rain showers along with windy conditions. Low 73. Chance of rain 60%. Monday, cloudy and windy. Slight chance of a rain shower. High 80. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Available now on the Weather Channel on demand. For millions of years, weather has shaped our world. But weather also created.
What is that?
Something else.
This weather adds to an incredible biodiversity. Do not move.
Find new episodes of Natural Born Monsters in your on-demand menu before they air Mondays at 10 on the Weather Channel. A Weather Channel special primetime event. An American crisis.
Our land started falling away.
Unfolding before our eyes.
Definitely impacting what's going on now on the planet.
It's a sad thing.
Dave Malkoff investigates. Alaska, State of Emergency. Wednesday night at 8 on the Weather Channel.
We have uncovered a remarkable planet. A world of extreme weather. Alien landscapes. And bizarre phenomena. It's the most complex system we know of in the universe. That planet is Earth. And we are only beginning to unlock its secrets. They are the heartbeat of the ocean. But they have a secret.
It'd be like being hit by a car traveling at 25 miles per hour.
Some can rage out of control.
You've got water flowing into the subways. You've got water at the World Trade Center.
They're called tides. Generated by the celestial pull of a moon and sun. Aggravated by weather and land. And wielding the power to trigger some of the deadliest disasters on the planet. On Secrets of the Earth. Even from space, it's clear that one feature separates Earth from all the rest of the planets in this solar system. Over 70% of its surface is covered with water. Where the sea meets the land, the waters rise and fall in predictable patterns known as tides. But closer inspection reveals that sometimes these tides get out of control.
When the tide is coming in slowly at the seashore, it may seem kind of meek, but tides actually have tremendous power.
What makes the gentle heartbeat of the oceans rage in certain places on the planet? Here, in a 50-mile-long inlet off the eastern coast of Canada, tides are taken to their most extreme. This is the Bay of Fundy, home of the highest tides on the planet. A typical high tide is about 2 to 4 feet. But throughout the year, the tides in the Bay of Fundy can rise to over 50 feet, the height of a 5-story building.
115 billion tons of water comes into the Bay of Fundy, and 150 billion tons of water goes out of the Bay of Fundy. To put that in context, the force of the water moving in and out of the Bay of Fundy is equivalent to about 8,000 locomotives pulling that water in and out of the bay.
The sheer load of water moving in and out of the Bay of Fundy actually tilts the province of Nova Scotia back and forth by 1/16 of an inch during each tide cycle. If the energy of these tides could be harnessed, they could generate upwards of 10,000 megawatts of electricity, enough to power over 3 million homes a day. These powerhouse tides not only achieve awesome vertical heights, they also span almost 200 miles of coastline. So when the water retreats, it exposes hundreds of thousands of acres of the ocean floor.
We're at low tide at Alma Harbor. And if this were high tide, I'd be 6 feet underwater. And as the tide continues to go down, I'd be able to walk out for 1 to 2 miles.
But what is the secret that drives these mysterious waters in the Bay of Fundy? All tides on Earth, no matter how extreme, are powered by a force from space.
Tides are mostly caused by the gravitational influence of the moon, and to a lesser extent that of the sun. The moon pulls on the near side of the Earth more than it pulls on the center, causing the near side to bulge out toward the moon a little bit. It also pulls on the center more than on the far side, causing the far side to bulge out from the center. So there are 2 bulges on either side. This bulge consists of water that's bulging toward the moon and away from the moon, and to a lesser extent, toward the sun and away from the sun.
As the moon revolves around the Earth and the planet orbits the sun, these tidal bulges cause the water to rise and fall, producing high tides and low tides. The tides in the Bay of Fundy begin with the